Is Colin Kaepernick being blackballed by NFL GMs? Our theories on why NBA stars keep taking games off. Will Beast Mode bring that action to the Bay? But first, we'll respond to our Facebook comments about our proposed Derek Carr trade, so check it out. All right, this is the Big Al and Dave podcast. You can see us now. Look at you.
Hey, yeah, that's right.
You did a little redecorating in my house.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't stand coming over here with all of this 49er garbage, so I decided that I'd bring a little bit of Raiders stuff to kind of liven it up in here.
You know what? It's like when the Niners let the Raiders come into Santa Clara to play at Levi Stadium.
Did we take it over?
Huh?
Are we going to take it over?
Even my cat's going to come in the shot.
You even got a silver and black cat.
Oh, I don't see any silver on him, but...
Well, that's the story I'm telling, and I'm sticking with it.
That's because he's a LA Kings fan.
That's because he's a Raider fan.
Yeah, whatever. Well, hey, I'm Dave. He's Al.
Raider X. Big Al.
And this is the Big Al and Dave podcast. Last week we had a little trade discussion going on with... I actually got you to give me Derek Carr, which I'm going to say you gave him to me.
I didn't give him to you.
I offered you my next decade worth of first-round picks for Derek Carr.
And I said I'd take it. I said, as much as I love Derek Carr, but you got to go.
For 10 first-round picks?
10 first-round draft picks.
Well, we have a mutual friend, Brian, who weighed in on this, he's a hardcore Raider fan. Would you say that?
Yeah, I'd say he's
I remember
hardcore.
He had a truck that was just like plastered in Raider stuff.
I understand.
Well, his comment was, nope, wouldn't take it. Let me ask you one question. Would you trade your heart for 10 other organs? What do
No.
you think?
Well, maybe I would.
Well, you need to have the heart, right?
Well, you got to have your brain. There's a lot of other organs you got to have too.
None of it works without the heart.
Well, you can get a heart transplant.
I mean, you have the option. A heart or 10 other organs. I think that's what the trade is.
Okay, then I'd have to keep my heart.
But I also posted on several Facebook groups to see what they would weigh in on this. And here's some of your fellow... You like to say that you represent the Raider Nation, right?
I represent the Raider Nation. I'm from deep within the confines of the Raider Nation.
Okay, that was the line I was waiting for there. Well, some of your guys are like, that shit ain't funny. See you in hell.
Okay.
Another one's like, stupid.
That they don't agree with it?
I think they might be lashing out at me because I asked them, what do you think of the trade? Another guy said, yeah, you're a dumbass.
You.
I think it's me.
And I think I said that last week.
Well, also, I think they're saying they're not going to give up Derek Carr.
No, I think most people would be willing to give up Derek Carr for 10 first-round draft picks.
This guy called me a clown. Another one said, you got to stop smoking that California Chronic. It's made you loopy.
He's talking about you, right?
I think he's talking about you.
How do you see that?
Well, look at this. Are you telling me that Derek Carr isn't worth 10 first-round draft picks? Oh, wait, that's what I'm trying to tell them. How bad... Wait, you're trying to give me Derek Carr for 10 first-round draft picks.
No, I wasn't trying to give you Derek Carr
I'm
for
trying
10.
to get Derek
You
Carr for...
offered 10 first-round draft picks for Derek Carr, and I brought you back to when Dallas Cowboys traded Herschel Walker for about 11 players and draft picks, and how it transformed their team into winning Super Bowls.
Well, I would do that too, because Herschel Walker's a running back.
All that wasn't the point I'm trying to make.
I'm talking about quarterback.
But I'm trying to make the point is 10 picks.
Uh-huh.
Do you know how 10 picks can transform your team if you make the right picks, even if you only make half of them right?
You know how important the quarterback is?
We
How
have 10
bad-
tries to get another one, and plus, other than
10
that,
tries?
we wouldn't use all of them.
It took you 10 tries the previous 10 years. You didn't get a single one. Derek Carr was in the second round.
we wasn't trying to get a quarterback every one of those years either.
You should be.
Well, we got one now, and look
And
at
he wasn't in the first round.
Look at it right now.
What happened to the one you did pick in the first round?
At this point, I can't recall.
The biggest bust ever.
Can't
and when
recall.
I say biggest, I mean biggest.
Can't recall.
That's what I'm saying. How bad were the Raiders their last two? I mean, they were 12-4 this year, right?
Yeah,
How bad were they though those last two games without Carr? They're horrible,
yeah.
terrible.
It's a pretty tough
You
game.
can't get rid of the guy.
Oh, I don't want to get rid of him. But if you offer me 10 picks, 10 first-round draft picks, I'm taking it.
Terrible idea.
I'll buy me another quarterback right now until we can get one to groom him up and get to the same level.
How many guys can play quarterback in the league? 10?
Well, they got one that's available right now that can probably play half the season.
Huh?
Romo.
Yeah, I would definitely take him.
And then we'd have our first-round draft pick this year and your first-round draft pick to, if we wanted to, we can draft two of them this year.
Yeah, and nobody coming out is anything to get excited
You
about.
never know anything about any of them coming out. But when I'm talking about 10 first-round
is
draft
true.
picks, I'd like to think out of those 10, 5 of them could potentially be Hall of Famers.
I went on this other Raiders group, and this one guy started to slam me hard. And I guess he's Reggie McKenzie's identical twin, because that was his picture on his Facebook.
You know he has a twin.
He does, really?
Yeah, he has an identical twin.
Does he host a Facebook chat group?
I don't know, but he has a twin.
Oh, wait, I don't know if this guy was... I don't think his name was something different.
Oh, okay then.
Nah, whatever his name was. I mean, I go on this guy's thing, and they were getting on me because they went and they searched me on Facebook and found my 49ers picture of when I won the tickets to go to the game a few years ago. So
Yeah.
they're like, why are you letting this guy in and stuff like that. And then they also found a picture of me humping a gorilla, but that was 2 weeks ago in San Diego. I mean, that's what you do in San Diego, right?
I'd have been in San Diego probably 100 times. No, I never did that.
You don't have pictures of you humping animals? Well, the first thing I see on this group is that I know we have a lot of new members and all are encouraged to post, blah, blah, blah. There's just one rule here. Insulting, berating, and harassing other members will not be tolerated, all right? That's
Yeah.
like the rules of this one. So then the first thing the guy asked me is, David, was there ever a point in time your parents didn't regret having you? That's the first thing the guy says to me.
And was this a Raider fan? Or?
Yeah. This is Reggie McKenzie's identical twin.
Yeah, well,
So I don't know what his issue is because he has to have Reggie
he
McKenzie.
could probably tell you've been dropped on your head when you was a kid.
I'm not the one with the GM of the team on as my Facebook profile photo.
You got to start somewhere.
I guess.
But I'm not putting Mark Davis' picture on my Facebook.
Mark Davis? No, you already went in all in on him.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going to have any Raiders player or coach as your Facebook profile picture, who would you pick? All time.
All time?
Yeah.
Oh, it goes without saying, Bo Jackson.
It would be Bo Jackson?
Bo Jackson.
It's always going to be me.
And then after that, it would be, if I had to go with a current Raider, it would probably be,
The guy you want to trade?
I'd take a coin and flip and to see who is it's Derek Carr or Khalil Mack.
Hey, one guy posted that he was disappointed because he thought I was the Arizona Cardinals running back. Remember, David Johnson?
Oh, David. Oh, yeah, that day. Yeah.
So I apologized.
You apologize too easy.
I thought it was funny that I apologized. Here was the oddest comment that I saw. Maybe it makes more sense today with some of the sports news, but this guy wrote, speaking of trads, which I think he means trades, weren't we supposed to sign Anquan Bolden from the Ravens? Wait, yeah, the 49ers got rid of him, right? And they won how many games? Hell, I would have took Colin Kaepernick before I took E.J. Manuel. What is, as a fellow member of the Raider Nation, what is this guy trying to say?
Maybe it's because you guys always making the wrong decisions lately, and it's like Antoine Bolton.
You'll let this guy speak for y'all?
Antoine Bolden, he ain't did nothing. He ain't won. Have he won any Super Bowls?
Why are we talking about Anquan Bolden?
You the one who brought him up.
No, he brought him up. This guy on Facebook brought him up. By the way, Bolden's one of my all-time favorite players. Florida State University, my former favorite college football team.
You have so many stray all-time greats. I just don't understand them. They're only all-time greats in your mind.
Anquan's the man. You don't like Anquan Bolden?
You think he should be considered an all-time great? Even in the Florida State lore. And that, he's probably not even one of their all-time greats.
Just a baller, though.
But you always say, he just said he's an all-time great.
He is all-time
Then
great.
you throw that around too easy. Probably because you got nothing to pick from.
You don't throw it around enough.
And I throw it all over the Raider Nation.
Well, that is true.
That's right.
Well, I didn't just go on Raiders fan groups, thankfully. I also went to 49ers fan groups. There we go.
Oh, let's see what some of them Whiner fans said.
I like what this guy commented. He said, I like where this Shanahan-Hoyer shit is going.
So he was chiming in on you guys making a trade, and he said
Stick with Hoyer.
He stick with Hoyer and stuff. So I don't even think he was referring to the whole trade.
I think he's trying to tell me, keep the 10 first-round picks and let's go with Brian Hoyer.
I told you I wouldn't give it up, but you the one who offered 10 first-round draft picks, and I'm going to take them. Because you guys,
We're
you
a
need more
quarterback
than a quarterback away. Don't even get it out your mouth. You need more than a quarterback.
Oh, Derek Carr would make everybody so much better.
I'm-
Combined with Kyle Shanahan. Oh,
I keep
man.
telling you, he's never done nothing.
Set records last year with the Falcons.
Yeah, he set a record all right. Right now, it's in Super Bowl history. The
Oh, yeah.
first team that blew a 25-point lead. And all he had to do was run the ball
That was bad.
instead of passing the
That was
ball.
bad.
And next year, he's going to be making them same decisions affecting your team next year.
Hey, even Bill Belichick has his bad call days.
He didn't have none that bad.
Hey, well, what's the story?
And how do you guys reward this guy? He set a record for the worst loss in Super Bowl history, letting somebody come back from 25 points. And you guys give him a 6-year guaranteed contract. He's going to be, you know what? Y'all going to be wanting to fire him after 2 years. 2 years. And then you're going to have another quarterback on the roster. Another coach on the roster that you're going to be paying him
Boy,
into the next one.
That's quite a roster there.
Oh, God, I'm loving it.
Well, I'm not going to say anything good about the way the franchise is run. Obviously, they're a mess.
That's why I'm saying I take y'all 10 first round draft picks, and y'all such a mess. I'm thinking there'll be a lot of first, second, or third picks in the draft.
Trust me, if I take over, we're straightening things out right away.
What?
First off, I'm going to recommend the Raiders hire you as GM.
Oh, okay.
Then I get my quarterback.
Yeah, you'd have a quarterback, all right. You sure wouldn't have no draft picks and try to get your team better with no first-round draft picks over the next 10 years. That's pretty hard. And right now, San Francisco ain't a place really of destination for super free agents.
You know what? It'd be tough to get the Raiders to hire you for a GM, so I'll get the Colts to hire you as a GM.
The Colts.
Then you can trade me Andrew Luck for 10 first-round picks. What do you think of that?
Andrew Luck for 10 first-round
Oh,
draft
yeah.
picks? Oh, if I was a coach, I'd give you that deal, too.
Oh, baby.
Man, 10. You know what, Dave? You don't understand what a precious commodity 10 first-round draft picks is.
I looked it up. There isn't any precious commodity.
Oh,
Hit
yes,
or
it
miss.
is. Yes, it is.
Especially if there's no star quarterback.
There are other positions.
What are you going to explain? Well, nothing's more important than the quarterback.
Yeah, nothing's more important. You know,
I looked back at our last 10 picks. I'd rather have Derek Carr over all 10 of them combined.
that's because y'all didn't know what you was doing.
Well,
Some of the players y'all was picked that you picked
Patrick
shouldn't have been picked.
Patrick Willis, Vernon Davis, they weren't bad.
It's okay.
I'll get rid of him in a heartbeat.
Vernon Davis, he was okay. I mean, Patrick Willis, he was good. Vernon Davis, when you look back on retrospect on how his career went, he was just okay.
Yeah, so
if that's
you're making my point for me.
No, if them the two best players you done picked in the last 10 years, that's why you're where you're at right now.
Oh, yeah, well, no, but I don't have a quarterback. That's where I'm at.
But
why
I'm not
where-
saying the Raiders is going to make
It's about
these,
the quarterback.
I'm not saying the Raiders would make these same stupid choices y'all is making.
Hey, if I got a quarterback, we're all good. Give me Derek Carr.
If you got a quarterback, I think the 49ers would still blow it.
Because like I said, look how bad the Raiders were the last 2 games last year without Carr. They're still horrible. You have to have the quarterback. You tell me that.
Yeah, we need a quarterback, but I take
And
my
he's
chances.
he's the real deal.
He is the real
That guy
deal.
threw you guys wins.
And guess what?
Unbelievable passes.
Since this
the
deal,
game you went to in New Orleans,
Yeah.
money. Derek Carr.
and since this deal is just fictional in our heads, guess what?
What?
You just said what's going to be happening next year to the Raiders. Derek Carr
Uh-huh.
is going to pull us up. You know, matter of fact, I might make you add a couple of more draft picks on that. I might want your first and your second.
You don't want my... You shouldn't be trading me anything.
All I'm saying
I'm
is,
making the point that you shouldn't be trading me.
you know how they say it's old line saying it's everybody's got their price.
You want me to... Well, yeah.
Everybody's got a price.
That is
and
true.
I'm just saying, if everybody's got a price, my starting price would be 10 first-round draft
That
picks.
is one of my favorite things that my favorite radio guy, Clay Travis, that here's this shirt, I'll kick the coverage, that there's a price for everything, right?
That's right.
So how much for you to do a porno?
An old guy like me,
Yeah, I'm like, how much?
shit, I'd probably have to pay them to do a porno instead of them paying me. But I'm not doing a porno.
$20 million? Just say yes. 20 million?
20 million. And I'm training to be a pastor.
That's exactly why I brought this up.
That would be like blasphemy. I wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it.
$20 million?
I've been broke my whole life.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Been all right?
I've been okay. Being broke, I got a house. I'm okay. So I can just stay in the same
Imagine
situation.
the people you could help with that 20 million.
I'm not doing a porno movie no matter. Those people going to have to find other ways to be helped. I'm going to pray for them and let them get help that way.
So I guess there isn't a price for everything.
For some people, there is a price for
God,
it.
I'd do it for like, that'd be under $1 million easily.
Okay, well, let's just put that shoe on the other foot.
Sure.
Since you say that you don't believe in God,
Yeah.
so... But
Oh, wait, a price for everything that's not illegal. I forgot to add that point.
Okay.
Before you asked me to kill somebody.
Well, doing porno, as far as I'm concerned, is illegal.
Mm-hmm. No. Of course it's not.
It's illegal in my eyesight.
What were you going to ask me?
Okay, since we're going to do this, okay, you say you don't believe in God.
Yeah.
So, for $20 million,
Uh-huh.
if you had to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior
Okay.
and start going to church
For $20 million?
for $20 million
I gotta go to church?
every Sunday for the rest of your life.
Oh, what a drag.
You
Yeah.
got to get out there. You got to start preaching and teaching the word for $20 million.
Yeah.
Would you do it?
Yes. That's easy.
See, so you know why you do it?
Why?
Because
I get paid $20 million.
No, not just that. You do not believe in God as much as you proclaim to not believe in God. For $20 million,
No, because it's for $20 million.
well, you know, this is
Essentially, you're paying me to be an actor.
okay. Well, you know what? This is another class example. Like I guess you say, that everybody has a price, and you just showed you got a price.
Yeah.
You nothing better than a 2-bit hooker.
A little bit better.
I don't know.
I'm not going to do it for... I wouldn't do it for my current salary, I don't think. I'd rather do my job now than Yeah, probably. Will I have to do it my whole life? Or you're just going to offer me $20 million? You don't want to lowball me?
No, 20 million, but you're going to have to do it for some years.
Oh, what a drag. I'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
More on the 49ers group. This guy said, laugh out loud, no, I'd give up maybe 2 first-round picks, max, for Derek Carr. This 49er guy only wants to give you 2 first-round picks. Dude, it took 2 first-round picks to get Sam Bradford. You think they can give Derek Carr up for 2 first-round picks?
I wouldn't give you guys Derek Carr for 2 first-round draft picks.
Of course, this guy said, it's interesting, but I would never give up 10 draft picks.
I wouldn't either.
So you're agreeing with the 49er fans.
What I'm saying is, by giving up your 10 first-round draft picks to get one player, you're crippling your organization for not just 10 years. You
They're
got 10
first-round
years. Wait a minute.
Like half of them end up being halfway decent.
You got 10 years
Yeah.
of each one of those draft picks potentially having a 10-year career. So instead of giving up your picks for 10 years, in actuality, it's like giving it up your for like 15 or 16 or 17 years is what it's really going to hurt you to recover from that.
Okay, this guy said, my first response was, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Then I looked up the last 10 first-round picks, and it doesn't seem near as stupid. That being said, hell no. He still won't offer the 10 picks.
I'm just saying, most GMs will nowhere in the world, they're giving up 10 first-round draft picks. Just the potential. Just if you hit on all 10 of those. What?
You don't hit on all 10 of those, though.
I didn't say. I said, what if?
No, you're not going to hit
But
on.
you not just got those 10
The Patriots
first-round
blow-
draft
the
picks.
Patriots
You
have the-
also would have your own first-round draft picks during those 10 years. So now it's like you're getting 2 first-round draft picks every year.
Oh.
So it's not 1 first round that you're working with, it's 2. So basically you're talking about 2
Meanwhile,
first round draft
while you're
picks.
rebuilding, I got Derek Carr.
I told you, you're more than a quarterback away.
When you got a quarterback, you got a shot to win it all.
Well, let's look at it this way.
Yeah.
Look at San Diego. Would you say San Diego for all these years and had a
okay.
quarterback? Would you say that they done had a quarterback
Yes,
for all
they
these
have.
years? And what have they won?
Well-
Nothing in their miserable existence.
What do they do with every first-round draft pick they get? They hold out because they lowball every one of them.
That's not
They're
my
an
fault.
organization that doesn't know what they're doing. They're
Well,
going to play in a soccer stadium next
but
year.
all I'm saying
Idiots.
is
They don't know
you-
that they have powder blue jerseys that are way better than those navy blue jerseys. See, that
Which is
right
what-
there. That proves my point.
that proves nothing.
They don't even know how to dress.
Nothing.
They don't know how to put on a jersey.
Back to the point. Let's not lose
Yeah.
our focus here. The back to the point is just because you got a good quarterback don't mean you're going to win every year. It's been a lot of teams who had good quarterbacks who didn't win. Did Dan Marino win a Super Bowl?
Oh, Phillip Rivers did get to it.
Wait a minute. Did Dan Marino ever win a Super Bowl?
No.
Wasn't he a great quarterback?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I'm just saying, just because you got a great quarterback, don't mean you're going to win
Got a
Super
shot.
Bowls. You got a shot, but guess what? It takes, unlike basketball, where you only got 5 people on the court at one time, football, all the time you got 11 people out there on the field. And it takes more than one great player out on that field to win.
Basketball, you got LeBron James. You're in the finals every year. Of course, he does need teammates.
That's right.
He does campaign for him, and he gets them now, finally.
He's disgusting. He's scared to play alone. Michael Jordan was not that.
Oh, Jordan's team is loaded.
He wasn't campaigning for other people to come.
Yeah, well, he would have had to if he didn't have Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman. And
Barkley, a lot of the old greats, they didn't get out there and
When
campaign
Jordan
for
retired-
for players to come help them out.
when Jordan retired the first
He's just a
time,
crybaby.
when Jordan retired the first time, what were the Bulls' record the following year?
The next
They were a
year,
bad call away from going back to the finals
they
anyway.
almost won the next year.
Without him.
Scottie Pippen left
What happened
all
to the
way.
Cavaliers after LeBron left the first time? Dumpster fire. Immediately.
But he
Worst team in the league.
But he was the only player on that team.
Exactly. Jordan wasn't the only player on the Bulls.
Whatever.
Yeah. All right, so hey, it's perfect that we're talking basketball right now because remember I posted the video of the Warriors travesty because they were resting players.
Yes.
And then Andre Iguodala's poor choice of words that you were talking about. And so I put that on a bunch of Warriors groups, which I never thought I would join Warriors Facebook groups, considering I'm a Los Angeles Kings fan, which we're not going to talk about them because they're not looking very good right now. But anyway, and plus nobody wants to hear that.
Nobody cares.
So the first comment was this guy came on here and said he listened to 2 minutes of that clip and turned it off. As soon as you said home field instead of home court, it pretty much tells me whatever else he had to say was meaningless. I didn't even give you a chance because you misspoke.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm 61 years old, and some of the time, I'm going to misspeak. So
Well,
whatever.
Well, we'll be better off without him, I guess. Who knows?
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah, we're not going to be very affected. All right, here's another guy who he's all, tell your friend he's insipid. You know what that means?
Insipid.
Yeah.
Is that really what it says?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, so I had to look it up too because I had no idea what that meant. I didn't know if it was an actual word. And it says lacking flavor, uninteresting. Because I asked, does my friend make good points about the Warriors? So he says, tell your friend, he's insipid. But thanks for sharing content, smiley face. Race and ignorance is one thing, but you can't charge a guy 6 figures for a slur. Because you said you can't. They didn't find Iguodala enough. What do you think of that?
Well, maybe he just don't understand how incendiary the N-word is, and how it shouldn't be allowed in any form, under any circumstances, whether you black or white. That word should not be used. And if these young black guys or whatever want to use that word, and they don't want it used against them, if they can't restrain themselves on their own, maybe if we sign them charge them a game check, maybe that'll be enough to make them stop saying it.
I mean, because I guess, in this generation, they say it all the time.
Don't make it right.
I got rap records that are just loaded with that.
I don't listen to that mess anymore. First of all, I think the other question should be is, since we don't know that person's comment, was it coming from a white person or a black person or some other person? I said, maybe coming from a white person, it don't mean, not implying that he could be racist, but it don't affect him the same way that it would affect the black person, especially the black person in my demographic.
Your generation.
That's right. In my generation, we're really, we hate that word. And this young generation with all these rappers and stuff using that all the time, they didn't just it means nothing to them anymore.
You want to hear a couple other comments?
Yeah.
About that?
Yeah.
All right, this guy was short and sweet. Another little wine sack.
Me, huh?
Yeah.
Again, I said,
remember you had also your idea of, and we're going to get to this, about the Stars resting and that they should have to be forced to take 2 games off.
Yeah.
So another guy just put in parentheses golf clap. So I guess that's supporting your...
Yeah, okay.
So let's get to that. Last weekend, the Cleveland Cavaliers did the same thing that the Golden State Warriors did the week before.
Yeah.
Resting their star players on the nationally televised game against a quality opponent, right? They were playing the Clippers.
Yeah, they were playing Clippers. But they played them the day before.
The Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they don't play up against the Clippers.
Was this in Los Angeles?
Yeah. And then, did you see this morning where LeBron's on TV talking about the NBA can't do nothing about it?
I saw that quote.
because he said the NBA, they can't do nothing about it. It's like he's like basically was making a mockery of the whole situation.
Yeah.
And
I have a theory on that.
let's hear your part first.
And it was kind of inspired what I've seen with Colin Cowherd talking about it, because I didn't understand what he was saying. But this is kind of what I'm getting out of it. Is, you know, this is the first year that the TV money kicks in for NBA players. So the salaries are skyrocketing, right?
And
Who's the guard for the Grizzlies?
$156 million.
He makes
Conley.
Yeah, Mike Conley makes $30 million a year, right?
Yeah.
So, and then it elevated for superstars too. But I mean, marginal players, the salary for players making 20 million or higher, it went up 100%.
Yeah.
So now all these guys that aren't that good are making superstar money from the year before. So now the superstars are like, well, why am I going to go on national TV when these guys are getting paid the same amount of money I was getting paid busting my ass the year before, right? Does that make any sense?
Might make a little bit of sense, but
So they're sticking it to the TV.
I don't think they're looking at it that way. My whole thing is like, the whole thing I said like this, and I went on another talk show this morning, and I sent them a little tweet on how I thought
What show?
First Take.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And I went on there and I told him, I said, in response to LeBron James,
Yeah.
he said he think that the NBA can't do nothing about what the players is doing. You know, LeBron really think he is King Kong, but Stern.
I would agree with that.
But Sterling, what's Silver?
Yeah.
He can do something about this. What I sent them was this. From next year, if they want to put an end to this, and the TV executives should insist that in the future, if you want to rest the player, you can't just rest him for one game, because if he's that tired, he need more than one game. He needs to be rested for 2. So basically, the only way he can get 1 day's rest, if you rest one player at a time. If you rest 2 players or more, then all of them has to get 2 days, 2 games off. That way, if you rest your whole team, all 4 players, this game, they're going to miss next game. And also, to get around that, you have to, if a player is hurt one game, so they'll just say, well, he's hurt and he can't play the next game. If he's hurt that bad and he can't play, then he's got to take 2 games off too. That's the way you get around that. And all of that resting players and stuff, when it comes to missing 2 games, let's see how much rest, how tired they really are.
And then, well, is that something that the players' union would fight against? Obviously.
You know what? As much money as they're making, and ABC, what's ABC who's doing the game? I know ABC would be all behind that. They giving all of this money, and you resting players.
Plus, ABC, ESPN are firing on-air talent like crazy because their business model is just dying.
That's right. Well, you know what?
ESPN's the network, is the dead network walking.
Well, you know what? When you're looking at that, and every time you turn the TV on, players is being rested, and what they're doing to their fan base. You know, you know what? They sell these tickets.
Well, the Warriors and the Cavs were both on the road, so it's not their fan base.
But you know what? You sell these tickets to people.
Yeah.
And months in advance. And if you're not a season ticket holder, you have to basically get scalp tickets.
And you know that.
And you paying it to go see the superstars, and then you get there and they're not even playing.
And you know, especially a place like San Antonio, they're going to charge more for the Warriors games.
Yeah.
Or when the Cavaliers come to town, of course.
So you're getting scalped prices. You paying a premium to see, in the Warriors case, who did you get to see that day? You got to see, like, Vanell McGee, which is You only saw a little bit of him.
Oh, well, it's like a bloopers show.
You're right. You get to see all of these players.
You get to
who
watch
are
live bloopers.
bench warmers. Sitting out there, you got David West out there playing, and
Who?
Yeah, they started the young rookie and stuff, and Ian Clark even looked good that game.
Never heard of him.
Well, he's a bench warmer who actually scored 33 points in that game, a career high. But as much garbage as the Warriors put out that year, in that game, the Spurs put out just as much garbage. They didn't have their best players playing either.
Yeah. But you don't think it's the players sticking it to the TV people giving more money to the marginal players?
No, I think it's all started with Popovich, and he done it and got away with it.
What's your theory?
Because he started resting players, but he started resting players because he had all these old players.
That was last year.
No, this was like 6 or 7 years ago. He started resting all his players. And they won a couple of championships, and it's like, oh, he's a genius, and he's resting. But his players was 90 years old. He had to rest them to keep them playing. But I thought the biggest one was, I think in about the 4th game of the year or the 5th game of the year this year, the Sacramento Kings, who is bound to do nothing every year, they rested Cousins in the 4th or 5th game of the year. I say, how does a young guy, 27 years old, need rest in the 4th game or the 5th game of the year?
Well, keep in
how
mind,
do you need rest?
Keep in mind, he's trying to carry the whole load there.
After 4 games? On that team, there's no load to carry.
I'm trying to defend it. I don't know.
No load to carry.
Well, that's a franchise that doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, well, you know what? It ain't just them. It's a lot of teams doing this.
Yeah, wow. So they didn't do this back in the day.
No. That's why all the old legends right now, they're really just talking about them bad. And they come talking about, well, we need our rest. And so, back there, it was like a shield of honor to be able to say, I played 40 minutes and I played 82 games. Now, these players think it's good if they played 30 minutes and 30 games.
Well, I was watching Chris Broussard on The Herd this morning.
Yeah.
And he was talking about John Stockton played 19 years.
Yeah.
Just about every single game. Except for the one shortage year was 50 games.
Yeah, the strike.
So I guess he played every game in his career in 19 years. And then another point that he brought up is players back then, they flew on commercial flights.
Yeah.
The first flight out of town you get on. And Colin Cowherd was like, yeah, so if the Celtics played in your city the night before, you're sitting next to Larry Bird on your flight the next morning.
And they wasn't staying in top-notch hotels all the time either.
The NBA wasn't that popular.
That's right. They was and so they didn't have the traveling masseuse with them and all the trainers and stuff eating the best food. They're treated like kings and queens right now. And guess what? They want to be pampered like kings and queens, and they want to just sit back and lounge like kings and queens. Everything's been given to them, and they don't want to work hard to keep it anymore.
So that makes it an even uglier look, maybe, that they would be protesting the national TV game by sitting because, those guys are getting paid what we were getting paid last year, so they should have to do it.
I still don't think they look at it from that perspective. I think they just look at it as like, we can get away with it, we're going to do it. But I think it's more put on the players than it is than what it should be is on the coaches. Because you do not have to rest all your players.
Decision.
It's the coach's decision.
Yeah,
you do not have to rest all your players at the same time.
Who do you think is the coach?
You can rest one player today, another player the next day, another player the next day. It's like fixing a game. That's what it's like, fixing a game.
Yeah, but who do you think's the coach of the Cavaliers?
LeBron.
Tell me it's Tyrone. Okay, thank you.
LeBron.
Yeah, so who's making that decision?
Oh, in that case, it's LeBron. But in other,
The Warriors.
When the Warriors case, I mean, you could just tell from listening to some of the players' comments, they didn't agree with that. That's all on the coaches. So whereas we being hard on LeBron, but I'm sure he didn't make the decision by himself. Hey, I want to rest, and I want you to rest this player, this player, this player too. In their case, they did have a little bit of a Love was coming back, and he's like on a restriction. They probably didn't want to play him back to back, and Kyrie Irving did tweak his ankle, so you kind of could give them a slight pass.
Hey, look at that.
You can give them a slight pass, but the Warriors, they get no pass.
Oh, hey, look at you.
I'm a Warrior fan, and they get no pass. Like I told you, I lost a lot of respect for their coach after that. That was a travesty.
Yeah.
Total travesty.
Oh, the shit's gonna hit the fan though when the sports bubble bursts and the money dries up. I'm interested to see what happens because ESPN is literally dying.
Well,
dead channel walking.
What those basketball players got to realize is, and all of them is too young to realize this. But back in the late 60s and early 70s, boxing and roller derby was real big in America. Roller derby was really big, and boxing and wrestling. At that time, nobody thought that was going to dry up either. And they went by the wayside. It's like boxing. Boxing was as big as football at one point. Boxing decided that they wanted to go to all of their best games, all their best matches. They wanted to put it on pay-per-view and just make people pay extra for all these. That's when they alienated priced all of their young fans out of the market. Well, just because they getting all this money right now, it don't mean they're gonna always be it. They take they taking it for granted right now. And believe me, one of these days.
Well, that boxing's different though, because there's not like a boxing commissioner. That was individual boxers.
The point I was trying to make is, you may be living high and you think it's never going to change.
Oh,
but
when
you start alienating your fans and taking your fans for granted, who's actually paying the money for a certain product, and you start mistreating your fans and stuff, believe me, you think you've built a house of brick and stones, all of a sudden it's a glass house and it could all come falling down.
Well, it's the problem with them though is people that don't watch basketball are cutting the cord. That's where ESPN's money comes from.
Hey, they already.
I'm sure it doesn't help sitting out the national TV game, but there's pretty much nothing they can do. It's just gonna collapse.
Like I say, they can do something. Make the players, the coaches. You send them. You rest 3 or 4 people. Find them coaches.
They can put the Cavaliers and the Warriors on pay-per-view.
Okay, we'll see how that go.
Well, speaking of ESPN collapsing, another reason that they might be collapsing is that they've gone. Have you noticed that they're more of a liberal sports network? That they talk more liberal politics? Like they made a conscious decision? Because they had their top story was Spike Lee today. Yeah. Talking about Colin Kaepernick, which I love to talk about Colin Kaepernick, my former former beau.
Okay.
I don't know. I think he's my favorite player. I never liked the guy. He'd come in with his dress like a 13-year-old punk, and I wasn't into his whole look. But he had the one good year with the read option. Once you took that away, he's nothing. But so Spike Lee thinks that the Jets should sign Colin Kaepernick, and he thinks that it's fishy that nobody has signed him to a contract.
Obviously, he's being blackballed. Let's just call it what it is.
What does that mean?
That blackballing is like when it's basically part of collusion. You know what collusion is like? Where everybody then got together.
I'm so dumb.
Everybody then got together
all
behind all the GMs without telling anybody, look, we're just not going to sign it. We're not going to say we're not, but nobody's going to sign him. That's what blackball is.
Yeah.
over the years, people have been sued if they could prove collusion.
You think that's what they're doing?
Well, when you look at some of the quarterbacking situations,
Geno Smith just got signed.
you gonna tell me Geno Smith is better than Kaepernick? Realistically,
We gotta weigh in not just the playing ability.
this guy we just signed today.
Oh yeah, so the Raiders signed EJ Manuel, another one of my bows.
Do you think
because
he's
I'm a Florida
better
State
than,
fan?
Do you think he's better than Kaepernick? No.
I mean, if you're gonna-
You're talking about a quarterback here who
He's a first round pick.
almost won the Super
Oh,
Bowl,
Kaepernick.
was one player away from making it to another Super Bowl against all these other quarterbacks in the league who ain't never accomplished anything, and they got jobs and Cap don't have a job. Yeah, and you don't
Do you
think
think the Niners were good because of Cap?
I
Not
thought
even
they
close.
could have been a whole lot worse without him.
You think they would have been better off with Alex Smith? In hindsight, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I loved it.
They shouldn't have
It was-
got rid of him.
I was
Because, like I said, once the Reed option, the Super Bowl year was the height of the Reed option. You had Kaepernick, you had Tebow, you had RG3,
Yeah.
and Russell Wilson's the only one that can survive. Why?
Yeah.
Because he can throw in the pocket. Those other three guys, no dice.
It was like I was telling my buddy, a friend of mine, Bruce, I was telling him right before that happened, I said, you know what? I want you guys to go ahead and trade Alex Smith. And I want Kaepernick to keep on playing good, and y'all get rid of Alex Smith. And then all of a sudden, when the coaches catch up to Alex Smith, he's gonna be Kaepernick. He's gonna be garbage, and y'all gonna already be done got rid of Alex Smith, and you're gonna have nothing. Not that I thought Alex Smith was special.
He made a Pro Bowl.
I thought he was just better. I thought he was just okay. And it worked out just like I said. I planned it. I couldn't have had it work out any better. Just like I said, it happened. You got rid of Alex Smith. He went on to become basically a Raider killer right now in Kansas City. And you guys are stuck with not
Like that
even
part of
Cap
it?
anymore. Now you're twiddling your thumbs again. I am just loving it. Oh, how the mighty has fallen.
Congratulations on getting that pick right.
Oh, yeah. I am so glad. I mean, I am so glad.
I understand why they would blackball him, though. The guy's garbage. I mean, and then you have to weigh in the baggage. That's baggage, dude.
Baggage.
Like what?
We got people that played in this league been accused of rape and murder and everything else. That's baggage. The reason this baggage is certain.
No. Say Alan or Aaron Rodgers took a knee to protest something. You think the Packers would cut him loose?
No.
Cause he can play.
He can. Well, not just that. He can play, but guess what? He's not a black player. Hate to bring
So
the
it is
color
that.
into it, but if Kaepernick would have been a white player doing that, I don't think we'd have this much of disgust and outrage as we
That's why
had.
it's coming up. It's because of the racial aspect of it.
It's almost all aspects of everything. It's unfortunately, but it plays into a lot of.
So a point that Cowherd was bringing up this morning was that Tim Tebow didn't get another shot as a starting quarterback. I mean, the Jets traded for him, but they threw him on the special teams thing.
But
I mean, he has baggage
But the difference
because
between
of that right wing fanatical.
yeah, but but Tebow.
Tebow has a winning record as a starting quarterback.
Did you see how he? But you got to look.
Kaepernick's 3-16.
You
in
got
his
to
last
look
9.
at the eye test with Kaepernick. With Tebow, could he even throw the ball? He was the worst passing quarterback I ever seen. And Denver
bad.
wasn't winning them games because of him. He played lousy.
They had the number one rushing
He
offense.
played lousy for the whole game up until the last 2 minutes. Basically,
They had
some teams out there right
Yeah.
now, what they should have did with Tebow
Yeah.
was treat it like a baseball game. Have Tebow come in and be your closer. Come in for the last drive. Tebow was good on the last drive.
Had the highest quarterback rating in the
He
league.
was good. Somebody should have put him on the bench and brought him in as a closer to sort of like baseball, bring you closer, bring Tebow in the closer. You know what? Some of the GMs, you got to think outside of the box.
But it's the baggage
The baggage.
with Tebow. He has baggage too.
Hey, you know what? Baggage get left off of you, forgot about if you win.
He had a winning record as a starter. Won a playoff game. He had the #1 rushing offense and a 21st ranked defense.
He had one good game in his whole miserable career.
Well, that wasn't very long. It did get miserable with the
He
Jets.
was awful. He was awful. But I'm
So
just
is
saying,
Kaepernick.
it's hard to use this to try to say that Kaepernick got. I mean, it's hard to say that Tebow got blackballed in a sense because he did get a couple of other tryouts and stuff. But when I'm saying this about Kaepernick is a lot of people feel that he still got potential to do something. And so far, he's not.
I think he could be a backup quarterback.
I think so too. But you know what? Right now, they're signing backup quarterbacks, and ain't nobody signed him.
But he's got the baggage.
Baggage is overrated. In this league,
Well, if you can play and you have baggage,
the Raiders,
doesn't
we
matter.
signed Alden Smith.
It's like Adrian.
And look at all the baggage he had.
Well, that's,
And still got baggage. And he's got luggage.
they thought he could play.
He could play.
But nobody thinks Kaepernick can play.
Nobody thinks
not-
Kaepernick
it's
can
not
play
worth
is
this.
because they're blackballing.
It's not worth a backup quarterback to bring that in. Just
I-
like we're going to talk about Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Because the Raiders are, I don't know if they're actually thinking about bringing him in or not, but there's a rumor that that's out there. Even when he had his whole child abuse thing, the Vikings still had him on the roster.
Did they have him on the roster? Did they, well, you know, he's a Hall of
they kept
Famer.
him. Well, because he can play.
Because he can play.
That's the problem with Kaepernick.
And so, no, he ain't never been considered a Hall of Famer. When you can play, the problem is,
Kaepernick had one good year. Even the year after.
I think he had two good
Even
years.
the year after, when they lost to Seattle in the NFC Championship
Yeah.
game, the defense was all-time great, but the offense was horrible. Terrible, worst red zone offense in the league.
No,
worst,
it ain't. You know what went wrong
worst
with
third down percent, like bottom third in the
You know what went wrong with
bottom
that?
quarter.
You know what went wrong with that? You guys was running.
What?
You guys was playing good, and you sort of pulled a Seattle.
It ain't Cap.
Your running back.
It ain't Cap.
Your running back was running wild in that game. He ran the ball all
Are we
the way
talking about
down.
the Super Bowl now?
He ran the ball all the way down to the 5-yard line. He had to ran a play for about 20 yards, then another 30-yard play. He's having a good game. You guys dropped back 3 straight times trying to throw a pass, and you didn't give him the ball like one time. You did just like Seattle did when they didn't give the ball a beast mode, and it cost you. That's because all these offensive coordinators and stuff, they want the quarterback always to look good. They want the quarterback to throw a touchdown.
We were talking earlier about bad calls against the Raiders.
Yeah.
You see Delaney Walker getting pulled down to the ground on the other side of the field of the Crabtree pass. We got robbed in that Super Bowl. So,
Was that the one that somebody unplugged the lights and stuff?
anyway.
And you think you got robbed? Somebody for the 49ers was paid to cut the cord somewhere.
This is going to be a conspiracy theory podcast.
I'm just saying.
Blackballing and cutting the cord.
That's right. There's all kind of stuff going on behind the scenes in all sports.
So let's finish off with this one. The Raiders are rumored to get Adrian Peterson or Marshawn Lynch, beast mode. Who do you want? Now, for me, Adrian Peterson, they called him AD, right? For all day.
Yeah.
Well, I call him AD now for all done.
Well,
It's over.
if I had my choice between the two of them,
About that action, boss.
I'd take Beast Mode. Beast Mode is from Oaktown.
Yeah.
and you know he'd want to come back
Apparently,
and represent the O.
apparently there's a quote out there that somebody who knows him, he said, "This is the only team I'll come play."
That's
for.
right. You know he want to come back and represent the O. So you know he
Especially
wants to come
since
back
they're
and-
going to move to Las Vegas in a couple years.
Whatever. He might not have more than a couple years anyway.
Couple
but I'm
games.
just saying, a lot of players, when you have the opportunity to come back home and play, to really, it's like Woodson. We got Woodson back in the last couple of years. He played his heart out for us to retire as a Raider. I think Beast Mode would do this. I think he'd play his heart out to be a Raider. Now, having said all that, Adrian Peterson,
Yeah.
I'd take him too. I'd like to figure out a way to get both of them.
Run the wishbone.
No, they ain't going to play every day. Neither one of them is every down backs.
I don't think either one of them will make it the whole year.
If you get them for the right price, neither one of them have to make it the whole year.
Peterson got hurt towards the end of the last year, right?
I think he got hurt more at the start of the year because he didn't end
he
up
didn't
with
play
about
much
maybe,
at all.
Yeah, he didn't play but 3 games or 2 games, something like that.
How much are you going to trade to Seattle to get Marshawn Lynch?
I think we
10,
give up
10 first-round picks?
I think we give up a 6th or 7th round draft pick for him.
Not 10 first-round picks?
No. No player, I told you, no player in the league would get 10 of my first round draft picks for him.
Well, one thing I want to say about Marshawn Lynch that makes him one of my all-time favorite players, even though he's a Seattle Seahawks, you can go ahead and give me, because you always give me mess for liking players on other teams.
Yeah.
What? You don't like any player from other teams? Everybody's the enemy?
Everybody is an enemy of the Raider Nation. You either with us or you against us.
Yeah, but see, I
You with us or you against us. We do not fraternize with the enemy.
well, anyway, my favorite Marshawn Lynch moment was, did you ever see the video where he's at Cal and he gets a hold of the injury cart and he's rolling around the field in the injury cart?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
That's so good.
Now, see, I can like other players when they're in college.
Yeah.
But once they come and join the NFL and they ain't got the shield on some of the Raiders.
Suddenly that video wasn't funny anymore.
Oh, no. We don't deal with them no more.
And then last year, Cal put out a bobblehead for one of their games, and it was Marshawn in the injury cart. Guy can do whatever he wants.
Hey,
He's on the sidelines at Cal games, too.
he's great. I like him.
About that action, boss man.
Hey, I like him. Even though he's not a Raider, I like him. And guess why I like him? Because right now he's not playing anymore. But when he was playing,
2 years ago, you wouldn't say this.
I didn't care a bit about him.
Because you play them in the preseason every year.
It didn't have nothing to do with that.
The enemy.
He was a member of the, as far as I'm concerned, all the haters against us, he was one of them. Everybody fighting for the same thing we want, a championship. So you think it's like that's the problem with some of these players now. Like in basketball, everybody is friends now. Back in the day, the players wasn't friends. They didn't go join up with other players
Where's
to
the
play
hate?
with them.
Where's the hate?
Back in the day, that's how they was. They didn't want somebody else to come join them so they could beat somebody else. They wanted to be the one to beat them. These players now is too friendly.
The pregame trash talk is, what are you doing after the game? We should hang out.
Well, the players might be friendly, but I'm trying to teach the fans, look,
Yeah.
I don't like fans. I don't like any of them. You know, matter of fact, I was in your grocery store the other day,
All right.
and I'm going to try to word this correctly. I walked into the store, and I had on my Raider gear, and a 49er come walking into the door. A guy, well, not a 49er, a guy with all 49er gear on. I mean, he had some gold pants on and a red jersey and a red hat and stuff.
Gold pants?
Gold pants.
That guy must have been hardcore.
I looked at him. I said, "Oh, so you a 49er fan?" And you know what he told me? He started laughing. He said, "No, I'm not a 49er fan. This is my boyfriend's outfit, and I just like the colors." I looked at him, and I was so shocked. I mean, you know, I like to talk. I couldn't say anything. And then I just
shut you up.
I just looked and I said, Okay, I'll talk with you later. It just caught me. You know,
That's like
it was
me.
just
I like to,
it was just something I did not expect. You don't expect somebody, when you're talking football and you see somebody with the 49er colors, and all I'm saying is, you got on 49er colors. I'm getting ready to talk some football with you, and you're going to tell me this ain't yours. This is your boyfriend. Like, I couldn't believe it.
well, I'm a fan of the colors.
I hope you ain't got a boyfriend, too.
No, I don't.
No, okay, well, I'm just saying. That caught me by surprise.
Well, one of my favorite things that somebody told you in my store is, I was a 49er fan, said, silver will never be as good as gold. They got you there too.
That was okay. But I'm sure at the time, I don't remember, but I'm sure at the time I came back with something on it.
No, you told me, you know what? I like that.
Oh, okay. Well, every now and then a 49er fan might be able to slip one by on me, but they got to get up early in the morning.
We have a lot of that on tape here, so.
Okay.
All right, so let's wrap this thing up. We're at an hour, so what do you got? Last thing to say.
This is Raider X
We're gonna do a whole rant.
deep within
Just say go Raiders. Get it
confines
over
of
with.
the Raider Nation. Go Raiders!
All right, go Niners. Sorry to hear about Dwight Clark.